Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we're taking another look at Marvel Super War in its second closed beta. This is a Marvel-themed MOBA for mobile devices. It's really cool. They have a lot of brand new characters. They've overhauled some of the quite a bit of the UI, both in-game and out of game. This is the loading screen for the actual fight that we're about to jump into. I am playing as one of the new characters being showcased, Iron Man. And they've also introduced a bunch of new uniforms, including Iron Man Infinity War that you can unlock in-game. So very, very cool. For those of you that want to know how you can get in on this closed beta, you have to be, or at least appear to be, in one of 6 participating countries. I believe it's Indonesia, Thailand, Taiwan, Malaysia, and Singapore. And the Philippines as well. So if you're in any one of those countries, you're in luck, and if you're not, you got to get a little bit creative, but you can find that out for yourself. But I just wanted to talk about Iron Man because he's really cool. I will definitely be making a couple follow-up videos to show you guys all of the new characters, so don't worry if you're curious about who else is new to the game. There's a lot more characters, and from what I've heard from developers, they intend to add a lot of characters to this game. So for you big-time Marvel fans, whoever you love the most, you know, reading in the comics or watching on films or in TV shows, you're probably going to get a chance to play them. The roster originally was super diverse. You had characters like, you had classics like Mr. Fantastic and Iceman, but then you had like Cloak and Dagger, Groot, Quicksilver, so a lot of stuff here. But let's talk about Tony. Let's focus here. So Tony is sort of like your harassing, high movement speed or mobility character. And I want to highlight the movement speed or mobility because you can see it's kind of slow right now. And that was one of the criticisms that I had of Marvel Super War, and that's one of the criticisms I also have of quite a few MOBAs, most particularly or most famously Vainglory. I tried to play Vainglory back in the day, but it was just too slow. And the characters just all feel like they're moving in like sticky molasses. And this game still sort of struggles with that. Now, once I unlock Iron Man's third skill there, Accelerate, I'll be able to show you that Iron Man is one of the better characters, and he accelerates at buffing up his movement speed, kind of like Star-Lord. Sort of like a mini Star-Lord. So his basic attack is just a beam from his hand, but the cool thing with Iron Man is that every 4th beam, oh, Black Panther, or no, Deadpool's trying to jump in and kill me. Every 4th beam from his hands will be enhanced, and it will deal an area of effect damage strike. So it's sort of, he's doing this, the regular sort of repulsor blast, and then he does an enhanced repulsor blast. The cool thing about Iron Man, in this game, on top of that sort of 1, 2, 3, 4 for the repulsor blast, is that every time he uses a skill, so you see there my first skill, you've seen it a few times already as I'm talking, he shoots those missiles into a designated area, and his second skill, he has like a frontal beam that knocks enemies back in case they get too up in your face. Both of those abilities, and his ultimate ability, I would assume as well, his Unibeam, when you cast them, your next basic attack, your next repulsor blast will be enhanced. So he has this sort of cool combo playstyle. And here we go. We've unlocked Accelerate. So now we can highlight the sort of unique playstyle of Iron Man. It's very fast. It's very harassment-oriented. So you don't want to do what I'm doing right now. I mean, I'm taking advantage of the tower being, you know, unshielded, and Sif is going to try and punish me for that. But I think I die here. No. But in general, the best way to play Iron Man is to constantly be moving around, because if the enemy can't pin you down, they're always going to expect you coming over their shoulder. And so Iron Man has a lot of skills with long range. Here's his Unibeam, just not the best execution of his ultimate skill, but he fires a long-lasting beam with a pretty long range. I actually got killed by the combination of Sif throwing her sword and the enemy Iron Man Unibeaming me. But yeah, he's got some pretty cool abilities. Now, we're just running through the items right now, looking for some particular ones. Of course, Iron Man, he needs his arc reactor. I don't think it's thematically built specifically or exclusively for Iron Man. Lots of characters want the arc reactor if they deal energy damage, and they need some of those stats. But the really cool thing about Iron Man's Accelerate, and to be honest with you guys, I didn't notice this at first when I was playing with him, is that when you're flying, you can avoid obstacles. You can basically fly over everything. And I did it accidentally, or I did it without noticing when I flew through the tower, on my tower, and I thought that was just because it was my tower. But I noticed later on in this game, in this match in particular, that I can actually fly over all obstacles. So I can fly over these walls that I still take my path around when I'm flying at first because I don't know that I can. But you can actually fly straight over. You can fly like in one direction. You can fly diagonally across the map. So that makes Iron Man basically the highest movement speed character in the game. Not that his base movement speed is that fast. You would think it's Quicksilver, but it's not. Not that his base movement speed is that fast, but that when you use Accelerate, and I'm not using it properly, but when you use Accelerate properly, you can just, like, you can see it in 10 seconds. I can get from one end of the arena to the other. Now, one thing that Marvel Super War does really well, and they continue to do well, and you can see with Iron Man it looks beautiful. I tried to flicker here, I think. Yeah, just, it was a nice play, but I'm too rusty with MOBAs to pull that off properly. But one thing that looks beautiful, and it looks beautiful for Iron Man, is the skill animations. Every repulsor blast, every missile has its own explosion. The burst, you know, every skill feels unique. Every skill feels impactful. So you don't have abilities that you cast them and they just feel like nothing's going on. Even Accelerate, a skill that doesn't actually do any damage, you can see you really feel like you're becoming Iron Man. Now there's still a bit of slowness and there's a little bit of stickiness with certain animations and certain characters, but I think that's just something that they're gonna have to work on as the game gets closer and closer to global release, because I do think that characters are still a little bit too slow. Maybe the arena's too big. I don't know which one it is, but yeah. Despite Iron Man's crazy acceleration, I still feel like the game is slow. This Deadpool just doesn't learn, bro. You're not gonna get close to me. You're just not. You're gonna try to cut in my face with those katanas. We do get kind of harassed here, but I ward off Sif by using Unibeam. Not the greatest application of Unibeam, but it's okay. But yeah, we got Thor and Hawkeye backing me up, but Sif, Iron Man, and Deadpool are making it hard. Now, one thing that I have to say is a big criticism of this game, and I actually didn't I didn't notice this about the game the first time I reviewed it or the first time I played it, is that the camera angle is extremely downward. What I mean by that is that you can barely see what's ahead of you once it starts to get cut off by the top bar, and the top bar has, you know, the icon, it has your ping, it has your battery life, it has the little icons there, it has your teammates and their HP bars. There's a lot of information on the top, and that information is important for a MOBA, but it's like most of Iron Man's skills I can actually extend to the edge of that top part or further. So I can actually, in a way that makes like no sense to me, I can actually fire ahead of where I can see. So you saw it when I shot missiles at the enemy Iron Man, my evil clone. But half the time I'm shooting my missiles to try to like poke people from far away, and I don't even know if I'm hitting them because I can't see. So I really think that the camera almost needs to be like, imagine if the camera is fixed here. The camera just needs to be like maybe moved back a tiny bit and then tilted up a little bit. You don't want to give the player too much of a field of vision because it gives them an advantage. And you have games where you can manipulate the field of view and you can zoom out. Like people were doing that with what was it, Fortnite, where they were like creating a really stretched aspect ratio and it was allowing them to see players from further away because the draw distance was enhanced or whatever. Obviously you don't want to do that, but right now it just feels way too almost claustrophobic. Like you're being kind of, yeah, like suffocated by stuff all around. Now there is a lot of stuff around the screen sort of framing it, and that's okay. That's kind of that's your standard MOBA. You can't really avoid that. I do get this kill on Sif, which is nice, and then we unibeam Deadpool, and we get the kill on Deadpool as well. Well, Hawkeye gets the kill, but it was all me. You guys know. But yeah, right now that's the biggest criticism I have of this game. So there we go. I finally realized that I can fly over things. Actually, maybe I still didn't realize it. That was sick though. When you fire those missiles and it just nukes and blows up everything, it feels really good. This is hilarious. Check this out. Oh, dude. We were like half a second away from sniping that Thor. The Thor was recalling to his base. If we had just been a tiny bit faster, if I had auto-attacked him instead of using the skill, oh, that would have been glorious. He probably felt so good about escaping, though, so you gotta give him that. Anyways, so yeah, that my biggest criticism of Marvel Super right now is the camera angle, and there's nothing in the settings. I think during this game I check at some point. This is pre-recorded gameplay. At one point during the game, I check to see if I can change the camera angle at all. And man, I miss this Unibeam so badly, and I think that's part of the problem. Why? I don't wanna just say that it's the camera angle. Part of it's my bad gameplay. That was a bad missiles there. But when things are up close, it's easy for me to see, and I can land a couple. You know, I got some moves. I'm not a total noob. But when it comes to players chasing you, when it comes to trying to fight at a distance, in this game it's very hard because your character moves really slowly, and the camera angle is so close that it makes ranged fighting, and it makes fighting at a bit of a distance really hard, basically almost impossible. So yeah, right here, I tried to check the settings. I was like, yo, bro, where can I toggle the camera? Can I just zoom out a little bit? No, apparently not. So yeah, I don't know. It might be that Marvel Super War is like other MOBAs, like it's got the same distance as other MOBAs, but because the skills have a longer range, it feels awkward. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't like sat down and taken screenshots and compared the distance between this game and like Mobile Legends, which is super popular, the whole world, Arena of Valor, which is pretty much dead in North America at this point, but it's still popular in Asia, and I think there's the Chinese version is called like Honor of Kings or something like that, and that one's super popular as well. But yeah, and there's still Vainglory. League of Legends is coming out with their mobile game, so Marvel Super War is gonna have a ton of competition. They're gonna always have a fan base because it's Marvel IP, but you know, the game doesn't do that much, and I said this in my last review, the game doesn't do that many unique things. The most unique thing about this game is that you're playing as Deadpool and Thor and Iron Man and Sif and Proxima Midnight and Mr. Fantastic and Rocket Raccoon. Like that's like 90% of the reason to play this game in the first place. And that's something that they should try to work on. They should try to also not just make a good Marvel game, but make a good game. And so that's a difficult thing to do, but I think here is where we figure out that we can fly over everything. No? Still not? See, I'm still taking the path, i.e., like I'm flying where I would walk, which you don't actually have to do with Iron Man. So I'm still kind of playing badly. I'm still a noob. I've only had like a handful of games with Iron Man. I find with Iron Man, I either destroy and clap everybody's cheeks, or I get my cheeks clapped, and I end up being like 3-3. And having no impact on the game. This one was sort of in between. I'm 4-2 right now, which is not bad, but I see that Thor is trying to come after me, so we're just gonna get out of here. That was a really bad flicker. I don't know what that was. That blink was terrible. That teleport. We tried to help. We didn't really try to help Iron Man or Iceman. I'm lying. But there's 3 here. There's Rocket, Thor, and Deadpool. What am I supposed to do? But yeah. So if I were to summarize how I feel about the game right now, I would definitely say that it looks better, and you'll see from the end screen, and you'll see from the home screen as well, they've polished all of those menus, which is awesome. So the game looks better than ever, which is, again, really impressive for the amount of time this game's been in production. I gotta say, visually, the game is extremely competitive. It's one of the best looking, if not the best looking MOBA on the market, and that is with the most demanding fans. Marvel fans are the pickiest fans. Look at Marvel Avengers by Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics. How picky those fans are. That doesn't look like Captain America. That doesn't look like Tony. Our fans, you know, these fans are the most picky. So I think they're doing a wonderful job with the way the game looks. In terms of the way the game plays, I think, there we go. I think now I realize that I can just fly wherever I want. In terms of the way that the game plays, I think that it does some things well, but I think it needs to address the slowness, the sluggishness, the sort of... It's just like... You see what I mean? Like, so slow. You're just like, da-da. You can't really, there's no really good way to describe it. It's just when you get your hands in the game and you're pushing the joystick around and you're seeing these characters move. Sure, when Iron Man has his acceleration up, he moves great, and he moves the way you expect Iron Man to move. But when he doesn't have it up, he moves like 90-year-old Tony Stark. He moves like Rhodey, you know? So the movement is definitely something that I think they need to address, because I think it's part of the reason why a lot of people never got into Vainglory. in my opinion. And then I think the second thing, and this might be a thing that is just my criticism, I don't know, I haven't seen, I've watched other people's reviews, like Scene and stuff, and I haven't seen anybody else talk about it, but the camera, man. Why is it so zoomed in? Is it just me? What do you guys think of the camera? Let me know. I haven't really talked about the characters here that you're fighting, like the jungle creeps and stuff. I think they updated them, I'm not sure, but everything just looks awesome. They've added additional effects on the ground. Wait till you guys see Loki. Loki's sick. He's got some really cool moves. They do some really unique things, I should say. There are some really unique characters, and there are some really unique skills that I think separate this game from other MOBAs. So yeah, that I do think is true. You know, it's generic in some ways, but in other ways it's not generic. So I do think that they do a really good job of capturing, like, they do a really good job of capturing all the Marvel characters, but some of them really feel like they're super unique, to the point where you couldn't really have that same effect, or the same effect on a different character wouldn't have the same impact. You know, like when Tony accelerates in this game, when Tony shoots the unibeam, that's like that's a Iron Man skill. That's not a MOBA skill. So if another game created a character that had a unibeam skill, like if League of Legends or whatever, Dota, created a character with a unibeam skill, it wouldn't feel the same way as it does when it's Iron Man. But anyways, we get the win here. I died, but my team doesn't need me to win here. Black Panther's destroying the base, so we secure the victory. I didn't play particularly well, but I wanted to showcase Iron Man, baby. So check out so you got the victory screen, then we've got the MVP screen, which is new and looks amazing.
I solve problems with arrows.
Really cool. They've got catchphrases. It shows their name. It shows their KDA. You see my stats here. You see how good I am in comparison to other Iron Mans at my tier, so it's really cool. We've got some badges down there at the bottom that you get for doing particular things. So this UI is completely new and completely polished. This looks so much better than the old victory or loss screen, the win-loss screen. This one looks better. You can like and add people. It's the same as the old one. And then when we leave, you'll see the home screen, and it looks beautiful. This is all new, looks amazing. So let me know what you guys think of Marvel Super War. I will have more videos coming up for you guys about all of the characters and some other things as well for you guys to know moving into possibly the open and global launch. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.